back to the Lope Show. As you know, I'm your commissioner, Michael Lopez. And if you're wondering to yourself, yes, I am wearing a headband on my head. It's obviously to keep the hair out of my face. So I didn't want to wear a hat. So I just wore a headband. Anyway, whatever. Week 12, we had some one other person make the playoffs. And we had, I think, 2 people or 3 people that are now mathematically out of the playoffs. So let's get right into it. The first game of the week is Purple Swirly Helmets and Pay It to the Man. Sorry, my computer was lagging there. Pay It to the Man is going to get the victory, 85.26 to 76.48. On Pay It to the Man side, it's Brady with 23 points. He had an empty slot in his wide receiver points, so he gets nothing there. Matthews with 12 points. Walsh with 18, and Green Bay's defense with 14. On the flip side, Rivers with 28 points had a really good comeback in that game. I don't know if anyone watched that. It was pretty good. Ridley had a great negative 0.6 points. Fleener had 11 points. Jennings had 12, and that's about it. Stike with the loss is going to go to 7-5 and in third place, and Pay It to the Man is going to be 4-8 and in 12th. I think Pay It to the Man, they might not be in 12th place at the end of the year. Who knows? So we'll see what kind of fight they get next game. What kind of fight they have next game. The next game is... Well, hold on actually a second. Hold on, I hear something. Yep, you heard it right. It is the Donkey Punch of the Week game. Mind the Gap versus Badonkagronk. This game isn't really that big of a donkey punch. Obviously, we've seen way bigger than this. But anyway, Steve is going to lay the donkey punch onto Nat, 99.48 to 76.08. On Steve's side, it's Roethlisberger with 17 points, Marshall with 17, Peterson with 18, and Arizona's defense with 16. On the flip side, Matt Ryan with 12, Brown with 14, Bush with 10, Floyd with 10, and Tucker with 18, and Chicago's defense with a big fat goose egg, so that didn't really help. 2 people had 2 goose eggs on our team, Sproles and Chicago's defense, so it sucks. I don't think Natalie cares, though, because she's already in the playoffs. Steve's still fighting for a spot, so Steve is still going to improve. He's in 7th place. If he wins this week, he will be most likely be in the playoffs. The next game is Bird Gang versus The Noshan Show. The Noshan Show... Holy cow, this thing is super lacking today. Anyway, I'm pretty sure The Noshan Show is going to get the victory, 121.92 to 113.36. On Bartzak's side, it's Breeze with 19 points, Wright with 16 points, Moreno with 29, Charles with 27, and St. Louis's defense with 15 points. On Cookie's side, it's Newton with 21 points, Gordon with 29 points, Fitzgerald with 17, had a sweet catch that I saw on Red Zone. Lacey with 21 points, and everyone else is below 10. Cookie with the loss is going to be 4-8 and in 11th place. Bird Gang just not doing it. I think that's one of the teams that are eliminated now from the playoffs. And they're done. Bartzak already solidified his spot, but just trying to lay the hammer down on everyone before trying to make let everyone know who's boss before he goes into the playoffs. Maybe to scare some teams, but we'll see how this works out for him, Cotton. But Bartzak with the victory is going to be 8-4, and Cookie's going to be 4-8. Bartzak's going to be in 2nd place. The next game is Just the Tip and Revis and Butthead. That is our 1st place team going up against our 10th place team. Chad is going to get the victory over Steph, 97.02 to 82.72. On Chad's side, Luck with 14 points, Burleson with 13 points, Brown with 15, Stacy with 15, Goskowski with 12, and Houston's defense with 14. And the sadly eliminated from the playoffs team, Revis and Butthead, on their side, it's Flacco with 14 points, Johnson with 11, Graham with 16 points, and Baltimore's defense with 19. It's unfortunate for Steph. She had to play the first place team at the wrong time that you want to play a first place team when you need a win. And Chad is just on an absolute roll. I don't know how many games in a row he's won. Let's see. It is 3 in a row. It's the longest streak right now besides Pay It to the Man. But Bird Gang is on a 4-loss streak. So not doing good for Bird Gang. Anyway, the next game is Beast Mode versus 4-Year-Old Virgin. 4-Year-Old Virgin is going to get the victory, 84.30 to 79.46. On Kyle's side, it's Peyton Manning with 13 points, Vernon Davis with 11, and New Orleans defense with 16. On the flip side, we have Tony Romo with 16 points, Allen with 12, Murray with 12, Witten with 15, Novak with 13, and Kansas City's defense with a -2. Not a lot of scoring in this game, not the highest score, definitely not the lowest. I think I scored like in the 60s one time, but not a high-scoring game. Kyle's going to get the victory. Trevino in that scary 5-7 tie he's in 8th place right now. That's a scary place to be going into last week. That means you probably need to win. Kyle already solidified his spot into the playoffs at 7-5 and in 4th place. So we'll see what happens next week. The next game is the last game, and that is obviously Capper America versus a not very good team. I fucking definitely needed this win this week, and I got the victory, 97.00 to 92.18. Thank God. On my side, Kaepernick with 23 points finally pulled his head out of his ass. Pierre Thomas with 13 points. Gronkowski was 15 points. And San Francisco's defense with 19 points. I think my biggest thing, which I would have lost, I think if I didn't have him, was Tompkins with 5.6 points. Picked him up at the last second. 2 hours before his game, no one picked him up. He ended up getting some points for me, and it helped me out a lot, and I think that's why I won. On Matt's side, it's Stafford with 20 points, Thomas with 10, MJD with 20, Woodhead with 19, and everyone else below 10. His tight end, I think, was probable for the game, and he ended up not starting, so that helped me out a lot too. But Capper America 5-7 in 9th place, and Matt 6-6, still in the playoff hunt. Obviously, some cool stuff can happen. So, looking at the overview of the league right now, we have the Just the Tip, the No Sean So, Purple Swirly Helmets, 4-Year-Old Virgin, and Badonkagronk already in the playoffs. All of them have a record better than 7-5. Everyone else that's in the playoffs, not a very good team at 6-6. Mind the Gap at 6-6. Beast Mode at 5-7, and Capper America at 5-7. Now, those 4 teams, I haven't looked. Let's look at the schedule first for this week. So, not a very good team. Faces Pay It to the Man, who is the last place team. Mind the Gap plays the No Sean Show. Beast Mode plays Capper America. So, 2 teams, Beast Mode and Capper America, that are fighting for the spot that might get that last spot. So, really, the winner is probably going to get that last spot into the playoffs. So, let's go right into my picks of the week. The first one is Purple Swirly Helmets versus Badonkagronk. third and fifth place team. They're both in the playoffs. They're both. I'm thinking Stike's gonna win that one. He's a third place team. That game really doesn't matter. They're probably not going to start their starters because they're going to give them a rest week, so going into playoffs. Mind the Gap versus the No Sean Show. Obviously, Mind the Gap needs to get the victory. They're projected to win by 9 points, so I'm going to take the upset, and I'm going to take Mind the Gap getting the victory, so we'll see what happens there. The next game is Bird Gang versus Revis and Butthead, a 10th and 11th place team. I think I'm going to pick Steph that game, Revis and Butthead, to get that victory. I'm sure she doesn't want to be known as one of the 2 last place teams, one of the bottom 2 teams. So, I mean, bottom 3 is still bad, but I still don't think she wants to be known as the bottom 2. The next game is Just a Tip versus 40-Year-Old Virgin. Both those teams are already in the playoffs, so I would imagine that they're supposed to tie it out. I'm going to pick Just the Tip just for shits and gigs, because they're the first place team. The next game is a not very good team and Pay It to the Man. A not very good team. I'm going to take them to take the victory. They're the 6th place team and they're playing the last place team. I'm going to take them. And now we get to the game of the week. And this is a giant game of the week if you think about the possibilities of what can happen. It's Capper America versus Beast Mode. They're both projected to get their projections are within 0.03 points of each other going into last week. Both of them must win to make the playoffs. So this is a dogfight right here, coming down to the last little week of our of our league. So, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? We're gonna have to see, but it's going to be a dogfight. I think personally, obviously, you know who I'm picking. I'm picking Capper America to win that one. Hopefully we make the playoffs. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Once this weekend is over, I have a playoff preview. I'll have a playoff preview video made, and that one will work. I promise you that. I don't know if this one will, but I'm hoping it does. Anyway, I will see you guys next week, hopefully in the playoffs. See you later.